All right. Shalom, shalom, family, shalom. It's good to see you all. And I'm sorry for the delay. I was having a problem getting in. So a couple of times I had to log all the way out and log back in. I finally got in after doing it twice. So hopefully there won't be any more problem. But YouTube, whenever we start, they do too. They want to come in and mess with us. Trevon Jones. That's all YouTube does, but they primarily do that to Black creators, where they mess with your numbers, your views, and subscribers. Yeah, that's why when you look at many of our channels, the subscribers are barely moving because they're not doing nothing but sitting behind the scenes sabotaging our channels. We all know it is too obvious. I mean, they're not even subtle about it. It is so obvious when you go from channel to channel to the people you're subscribed to, and it's the same issue with every single channel. It's no different. I mean, it's typical. That is the thing that goes on every single platform for us. They all do it. So let's get into this one. Now, this story came out yesterday, and they are literally warning homeowners against taking legal action against squatters. And that is a big problem. You are paying for a home. You are paying for, you possibly have a mortgage or even rent on a home, and somebody sees it's just sitting there and decide to become a squatter. And that is becoming a big thing in America. Unfortunately, the squatter laws are very poor. So they don't really protect the homeowner. They got it set up where it protects the squatter. So let's get into this. Can everybody see the screen? Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. So homeowners have been warned against taking squatters to court. Now, that sounds crazy to the average person. You should be able to take action against someone in your home. So, an anti squatting professional is warning homeowners against taking squatters to court amid ongoing issues relating to property rights. Flash Sheldon, who describes himself as a professional squatter removed on Wednesday, spoke to Fox News, America's newsroom, about how to handle squatting incidents and different ways to remove uninvited dwellers from your home. First thing, call law enforcement. It's dangerous. Don't do anything yourself. It's property. Don't risk your life. Yes, because, there were a few stories over the past recent days where homeowners did try to take things into their own hands. One woman got arrested. It was her home and squatters were in there. She went over to try to get them out herself and called the cops, and the cops actually came out and arrested her, not the squatters. And there was another incident, I believe it was in New York. It was a woman that was trying to remove squatters, and they attacked and killed this woman. And then I was looking at one like the end of last week, and these squatters took over a home. The home was fully furnished. Do you know they started selling the homeowner's furniture and belongings? And by the time they realized what was going on, it was too late. They virtually sold everything in the house for money. I mean, it's crazy what's going on out here for real. Okay, so call law enforcement, and when they tell you there's nothing they can do, contact squattershunters.com. Squattershunter.com. Let us assess the situation before you hire an attorney and go to the civil process. So he was discussing his business, which comes out of California. A lot of times, the civil process will make what I do more difficult. Over the past several weeks, there have been numerous incidents involving squatters and attempts to have them evicted from homes they do not own. So, squatters' rights is a term used to refer as adverse possession laws, which permit someone to take ownership of something, mostly a common piece of real estate that they do not officially own, by possessing or living in it for a set amount of time or squatting in it. On Wednesday, Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he actually did something about the squatter laws down there in Florida. And I really think he is setting a precedent that probably will spread across the country. But don't expect this to happen right away, y'all. It takes time. So he signed legislation to address squatters in the state of Florida. We are putting an end to the squatter scam in Florida, DeSantis said in a press release. While other states are siding with squatters, we are protecting property owners and punishing criminals looking to game the system. GOP Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody lashed out at the White House in a statement on the issue, saying Biden has allowed millions of illegal immigrants to flood across the border after video evidence of their plan to take over homes emerged, where ensuing Floridians are protecting from this egregious and brazen scheme. So, yeah, so, we were talking about Moreno being on TikTok telling, Venezuelans to come and squat in homes. And they said a lot of them were planning on doing that at the border. So I think many of them knew even before Moreno got on video. It definitely did not start with him. So I am grateful to Governor DeSantis for signing this important legislation into law, and to Representative Kevin Steele for carrying this bill through session. The legislation by DeSantis allows homeowners to request law enforcement assistance in removing squatters if the individual is on their property illegally and has been ordered multiple times to leave and they refused. So only in a situation where you have told the squatters to get out, then this law is beneficial to you if they refuse. Additionally, the legislation increases penalties of those who make false statements in obtaining property. Yeah, because there's a lot of fake deeds and fake leases that these squatters have been using for many years. So, and making a second, they're saying that if they make false statements in obtaining property, like a fake deed or a fake lease, it is considered in the state of Florida a second-degree felony for any person who unlawfully occupies or trespasses in a residential dwelling, who intentionally causes $1,000 or more in damages. On Wednesday, a property owner in Atlanta spoke to Fox News about squatters who have been living on his land for several months, even after he attempted to evict them. But I've been buying and selling real estate in Atlanta for 30 years, and I've gone through the eviction process many, many times. This is what Davis Morris told Fox News. Now the marshals will call us. I've told the people living in the land, there's about 8 of them right now. I've said, guys, pack up and get ready. The marshals are coming. Sheldon told Fox News he first encountered squatting at his mother's California house after his father died. I decided to break the law and figured out if they could take a house, I could take a house. And I got my squatters out in less than a day. I decided to devote the attention I was getting from the YouTube channel to do something good. So I announced a year ago I was going to fight for squatters law change. And then I opened up Squatters Hunter, and it's to help homeowners get rid of squatters. So there you go. Yeah, a lot of people are having this problem all across the country. I remember, some of y'all might remember, I did a story about a year ago, and it was a Black woman, and she was using her home as an Airbnb. Well, this woman used it. She was only supposed to be in there for about maybe like a week. She decided not to leave and start squatting in the home. And that's how some of these people have gained access to these homes, by using Airbnb, pretending like they're only going to occupy the home for a few days and leave, and they end up squatting. That has been a big problem with Airbnb. And to be honest with you, I never heard of them fixing that problem. Usually, when it happened, they would just tell the homeowner it was nothing they could do. So they were pretty much stuck with this person in their house, pretending like they were going to leave in a few days, and then they didn't. And I found out that happened to a lot of people that were putting their houses up in, part of Airbnb. And I said, well, that's the part they don't tell you. because I've heard of some people that had an extra home and they were thinking about doing something like that. But, you got that potential of ending up with a squatter. And this woman, she tried everything to get this woman out of her house, and this woman would not leave. She would not leave. And it was a shame. And she even brought it onto YouTube and she filmed the whole thing of her telling this woman to leave and the woman refusing. So, I mean, it's tough out here. It really, truly is. You know, one thing you don't hear, and this is what really sets us apart. Thank you, dark skinned brother, for the super sticker. No matter how homeless our people become, you don't hear a lot of them squatting in homes. That's one thing you have not heard a lot. Most of the ones I have seen are definitely them folks, or especially these immigrants, that these illegals. They said that's been a problem now in the country with them squatting for several years. We never did a lot of that. If our people are homeless, they're more than likely just to stay out on the streets than to squat in somebody's house. Mhm. Yeah, well, it's not like that. Unfortunately, in most of the states in this country, they protect the squatter. That's why I always tell y'all it looks like the criminals wrote the laws in this country. Laws were written by criminals. That's why they don't work for anybody except for one group of people. They don't work for anyone else. And we know their forefathers that floated over here were criminals. Mhm. Yeah, well, I mean, if they're saying this at the border, yeah, you're gonna have a big headache in the country. But I blame all of it. I'm still gonna point my finger to Joe Biden. I'm gonna point my finger to him. And look, Congress, Joe Biden and the Senate have an opportunity to change these squatting laws in the country. And we don't even hear about them doing anything. They can do something if they really wanted to. Mhm. Yeah. The Ghost Tiger, 144, thank you for the super chat. I knew a black man that was hustled by a family of Mexicans, and it took him a year to evict him. Yeah, sometimes it takes way longer than that. I mean, I've heard stories where it would take some people 5 years to get someone out. I mean, it is outrageous. Donna Sheriff, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it can take a long time depending on the situation. And then I've heard some people literally had to I read one story, this was a couple of years back, where someone was squatting in this home, and I believe a black woman was owning this home, and somebody was squatting in her home. And she literally stalked the people. What she did was park outside the house, waited for all of them to leave, and she got a locksmith and had every lock in the house changed so they couldn't get back in there. And she made sure somebody was at the house so they couldn't get back in there. That's what she did. She just sat around. It took her a while, but she sat around and made sure every person left that house, and she changed the locks. And I think she got a relative of hers that needed a place to stay, and he went in there. He went in there and started staying there. And the people, after they realized they couldn't get back and a man was in the house, they left. Mhm. That's why I'm saying if you are in a situation, because everybody can't be at a house they got up for sale. You might leave to take a job in another state, and you're just going to have to find a way to get someone over there, or at least somebody that can go and check on things for you to make sure no one's in there. I heard that happened. I met a black man. It was not long after Katrina happened, and he was living up here, but he still had his house down there in Louisiana. And he said that happened to him. Somebody, when he was living up here after it happened, someone in Louisiana moved into his house. A squatter moved into his house, but he was able to go back down to Louisiana and he got them out. He got them out himself, you know, and he was lucky to be able to do that. Mhm. Yeah. But see, America is at fault for this too, because with the rent out here and the prices of these homes on the market, they've made it very hard even for the average American to go out here and get a home or a condo or apartment. They've made it very difficult. So, out of desperation, you're going to have all kinds of people doing this, and you don't see them doing anything about the housing market and everything going on out here. If you got a $500,000, you'll be lucky if you can get a fixer upper right now with that. It's really that outrageous. And rent, forget rent. They have gone up so high on the rent. It's not even funny. Mhm. No, Tawana, it's because you got morals. You got sense. That's why you would feel that way. You say, "I would be afraid to take someone else's pride." Yeah, because you got a moral compass about yourself. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, when they came over here, Elian Jones, yeah, when they came over here, that's what they did to our forefathers. They had homes over here. They had homes. And these people literally threw them out of their homes and took them over. That's what they did. They had homes made out of brick and, wood and brick, and they were living just fine. Despite the fact they're trying to make you believe you were some kind of savage. If anybody was a savage, it's the way they came over here and stole the land. That's savage. But they're going to have to give it all back. And see, this is why they're so uncomfortable these days. They know they got a lot to lose, and they will lose it all. It's just a matter of time. And that time is here. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's definitely going to happen. Definitely going to happen. Mhm. So y'all, thank you for being here, and be on the lookout for my upcoming videos that I'll be putting out later on today, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of this afternoon and tonight as well. Shalom, family.